and welcome back to Getting Lippy. I'm Emma Coney Bear, and this is the home of everything entertainment and showbiz news, brought to you by Slingo. And joining me on the show today, we've got the Simpsons. It's Frankie and Demi. You look stunning. How are we doing?
Thank you. Yeah, no, we're good, aren't we?
Yeah, good,
very
thank
good.
you. Thanks for having us on today.
You're very welcome. Join the fun on Slingo, your official site for Slingo games. Enjoy a £50 welcome bonus and get access to over 6,000 vibrant casino games. Gamble responsibly and take advantage of Slingo's safer gambling tools. Age 25 and over. Be gamble aware. For more information, visit begambleaware.org. How's your summer been? Has it been wild? Have you been out partying or holidays? Like, what's been going on?
Yeah, I can't lie. I've been feral. Like, I have been up, down this country. I just got back from Yorkshire, literally at like 7 p.m. last night.
Random.
So,
what were you doing up in Yorkshire?
just shooting. I was in Liverpool the night before.
wow.
Then we was at London, White Fox, weren't we?
Yeah,
We've
we've
just
been here, there, and everywhere. We've been in Ibiza twice. Oh, no, you've been Ibiza. No, we've been Ibiza 3 times.
You may as well just have like a little pad out there and just pop on over for
it's
the
been
weekend.
a good summer though.
It's been
It
a
has
crazy
been
summer,
good.
yeah.
That's good. Well, I mean, the British summertime obviously failed miserably in terms of the weather, so why not bugger off out the country? I mean, I would, let's face it. Ladies, thank you so much. Honestly, you've done quite a bit, haven't we? We started off at Tower. You've got your own show now. You've also got your podcast. It's great to see where you started to where you're going and what you've been up to. But let's start at the beginning, Towie, right? Do you remember your first day there, and what was your scene? What was the first scene that you had to do?
Yeah, I mean, yours was a year later than mine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I went on when I was like a lot younger. I was like 22, and Frankie was still at uni up in Preston, so you was like miles away. But and I just went on there, and I remember I actually came out on the show. It was like my first proper scene, and I was like, they was like, oh, look, you looking for anyone? And I was like, yeah, girls and boys. And that was like my first scene, and then obviously I came back the series later. But what was your first scene?
Mine was like just showing up at a pool party and just walking in, because there was like a guy there that they wanted to set me up with, so I had to just walk in. But when I look back on that scene now, it's so cringy because I thought I looked so good. And it's just like I had bleach blonde, like slick hair and like so much makeup on.
No one even knew you existed back then, because she'd spent like 3 years up. She'd spent like 5 years up north, so no one knew about Frankie. And then we all just walked in around this pool party. Hello, gorgeous.
Okay, do you want to come?
She wants.
Oh, she wants to be involved.
She wants the Towie tea.
Come on. That's sick. Oh. Well, Daphne's back on the show. Right, you're going to chill. I love how she just comes running over. There we go.
Yeah, but do you remember like your first scenes? You kept really whispering.
Yeah, so I was like, obviously I'd never been on TV before, and like when you're filming, the whole room's silent, and there's like IGs, which are like supported guests. So they're like, there's about 50 of them all crowding around watching, and I just felt
quite
so
intense, isn't it?
embarrassed. It's so intense, and I'm not very outgoing.
To walk around, first of all, around a pool, and you've got all these people staring, it's dead quiet.
I know.
God, that's
Yeah.
heels
like,
as
Yeah.
well.
And take
Oh.
away the fact that there's 30 people like working behind the
No.
camera. So the amount of people that are watching you, and I didn't want to talk too loud because I didn't want people to hear what I was saying. So I just kept whispering, and then it was like an ongoing joke, like Frankie whispers, Frankie whispers.
Aw.
I was in the scene with her. I was like, what? What are you even saying? But it was good though.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it's just so nerve-wracking, and it's really hard to be yourself when you're thrown into that position. So
even though it's unscripted, it is reality, but there's still a storyline there. So, you know, like you said, they wanted to set you up with somebody. First of all, did you know who that person was?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was all right, because otherwise that would have been a bit like, oh, shit. But how does it go in terms of like the storyline? Do they give you a phone call before and be like, okay, we've got this great idea for you? Or is it kind of like you feed some stuff to them and then they go with it?
yeah, so they'll call you up and they'll say like, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? And you'll feed it back to them, and then you'll turn up to filming and they'll say, you're going to be put in a scene and someone's going to walk in and you're going to have a conversation with them, and then you kind of put 2 and 2 together, don't you?
Yeah, and do you know what? Like sometimes you would message it like around and try and find out like who's going to be.
I was
going to
say, is there like a private WhatsApp group where the producers don't know about, and you just like,
Yeah.
I'm filming on this day on this time at this. You know, are you doing that as well? Okay, cool, you're there. Like, oh, and they kind of assume what's going to happen.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
sneakily texting people like, are you filming at 10:30 in the morning by any chance?
It is nerve-wracking though, but then other times it's like really relaxing because you get there and you're like supporting somebody else's storyline, so you're just briefed on what to say and what the producers want you to get out of them. So then you have to like kind of do your job and say, how about you the other night, and like things like that.
Okay, so in terms of like arguments, because let's face it, there's been some blowout arguments, some you've been involved with as well. Like, how does that go down? Like, do you feel like sometimes when you're on camera it gets a little bit more out of hand than it should, or like do they kind of give you a heads up like, oh, this person's been saying this stuff about you, it's time for you to like lose your head a little bit?
Yeah, so usually like things are rumoured and like there is like a build up to a scene, so like usually you'll do a scene before and like discuss what you'd say if you saw them and what you thought about what they've said about you, and then you know that you're going to be thrown into like, it's called a bump in. So you'll be walking along the street and you'll bump into them. But yeah, it's just things, I feel like things do get extra heated on camera.
Yeah, I think
There's just something about it that makes you like...
I think it's because you know people are watching and going to have an opinion. Yeah. So I feel like they're always like trying to win the argument, and then you've also got to try and win it. It's like...
And adrenaline as well. Like, you know, when you meet somebody down the street naturally, or you might have a bust up and it's not on camera, like it's so easy for you just to like walk away and be like, oh, fuck this, I'm out, like I don't need to have this. But do they go, okay, you could have keep going, we need an extra minute, we need to stretch this argument out, we need another 3 minutes out of you.
You can like walk off from the argument and they'll be like, no, you need to go back in.
We had a huge argument once. It was like me and Demi against 2 other cast members, and like I literally got so much out and they didn't say anything back, and I was like, I've won the argument. And we walked away and the producers were like, you've got to go back in there because they didn't get their comebacks in. So
do you have to replay that whole scene again and then be oh my god, no, because it's you're not acting, it comes natural, and then it comes, oh god, to then react that's quite...
But that was years ago, so I don't know if it's changed now, because obviously like we've still got friends that are on the show and they have said it's a little bit different now. It's a bit more like natural, and like it is a bit more so like you
can walk off away from the
sort of
In arguments, do you normally like fight to the end, or are you a like walking away sort of person?
I've only had 2 arguments on TV. I'm not really in arguments.
Not so necessarily on TV. I mean, you know, like...
Oh, I'm terrible at arguing. I'm so bad. I'm not quick. I'm so slow. You're quicker than me.
Yeah, I'm quite quick in arguments. I used to have to have the last word.
Oh,
Can't even get my words out. I used to be like, as long as I've got my last word in, I'll sleep happy tonight. Oh my God, was that you?
I love a walking out. I'm like, say my bit. Okay, bye. I'm like, you can't say anymore. I'm running away. I'm always a running away sort of person. You said that you've still got some friends on the show. Do you watch it now, and do you watch some of the scenes, and do you go like, oh God, I remember like, oh, it feels a bit awkward, or...
Because we are so close with a lot of people on the show that are on the show now, they invited us back 2 weeks ago, didn't they?
Yeah, so we filmed the Christmas special.
Oh, wow.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
What am I doing? It's not even Christmas. We filmed the finale.
Oh.
Sorry, you can tell I've been out all weekend. Yeah, we filmed the finale, which was good, and it was good to see everyone, and like we like done a nice surprise.
Yeah, it was good to be back behind the camera with all the crew. Like it was like old times.
So you've got your own reality show. We're going to dive into that in a minute.
Yeah.
But what was your decision to like leave Towery? Was it this other opportunity came along, or did you get to a point where you go, I need to change, I need to get out of this?
Well, we always sort of knew that we was going to get a family show, sort of, didn't we? Like
it was in the pipeline.
Yeah, it was like in the pipeline, like whether it be with like ITV or another brand. So when we got what's the word called that we got? They come to us. Approached. Sorry. when we got approached for the show by OnlyFans, we was just like, let's go for it. Like, they wanted to start their very own reality TV show, and they wanted us to be the first people they done it with, and it's such a big opportunity. Like OnlyFans is like worldwide, and it's like so well known, and for them to come to us and want us to be their first reality show, we was like blown away, weren't we? So yeah, of course, that we took the leap.
So talk to us about House of Sims.
Yeah.
Like, how did they all... what's the concept of it? Like, how did it all come about? Like, what's included? If people haven't watched it before, like, what do they expect? Is it very similar to like the Kardashians or like Vanderpump Rules, or is it like Towie?
It's kind of, it's not like Towie at all. The way that it's filmed, like the crew literally follow us around, and we're filming round the clock, like 12 hours a day.
Wow.
Which means that like they capture, you know, like just us in the kitchen making a coffee, or going to bed and taking our makeup off. Like they capture like those parts of our day that are just like natural. Whereas like Towie obviously is like a set 2 hour slot to really deliver something for the camera. So yeah, the way in which it was filmed was so different to what we were used to. But it's definitely, the outcome is definitely so good, isn't it? Like the show's like a bit like a documentary.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was more of like a docu-series than a reality show. I feel like that's what it was meant to be more like.
Like you said, it's with OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Was there elements of that in there? Because you guys have got OnlyFans, don't you?
Yeah.
Was that part of the show, or is it?
Not really. Like they just wanted it more like just to follow us around and see our day-to-day life and stuff like that. And obviously, like originally we moved to LA for the show.
I was gonna say LA. Come on, that's amazing.
So it was like how we got on, Essex girls and like our brother and stuff.
What was it like?
LA.
Because I love LA and I love USA in general. Like I just there's something about it. I think everyone's so nice, but they really do love an English accent.
No, they do.
Oh yeah,
they literally do. Like you can walk into a coffee shop and like as soon as you say I want a latte, they're like you want a latte, aren't they? Like but they love it. Like they do.
It's so easy to make friends out there as well, and like there's constantly events on and just like so much to do out there. So when we first moved out, it was so exciting. We were just like. We felt like we was living on cloud 9, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's
honestly.
huge though, isn't it? Like, you know, I always thought LA was just like, you know, a city like London or whatever. It's massive. You've got LA, you've got Hollywood, you've got West Hollywood, you've got Calabasas, and then it goes on to Malibu as well. And I'm like, this is so big, and it's just.
Oh my God, it's so confusing, isn't it? Yeah, it actually is. Because like the Kardashians apparently live in Calabasas, which is like hours away,
which
from
is nowhere near LA.
So, but you don't know that. Like when you're watching the show, you think they live
just
like
around the corner.
in LA.
Yeah. I know it does look small when you see it on TV, but then when you're living there, you're like, what, 40 minutes to get to this coffee shop, and then 40 minutes
But it
back.
is so. I think like in America, when people say, "Oh, I've got to drive 5 hours to see my girlfriend," you'd be thinking, "Fucking hell, that's all the way up to Newcastle from London." Yeah. But for them, that's like, "Oh no, that's a really short trip." You're like, "Nah, I'm sorry, it's too long distance for me." But you said there's like lots of events, and is it like that glamorous lifestyle, and was it?
Yeah, like to be honest, like the events were either full of like celebrities or full of like huge influencers, but because America's so big, there's so many influencers out there with like millions and millions of followers that we'd never even heard of. And it's funny because in the UK, when somebody's like a huge influencer, or
1 million followers on TikTok,
everyone knows who they are. But out there, like there's just so many that it's hard to keep up with them. But
it is. I remember I was working in marketing, and we was dealing with a lot of US influencers, and like I think you could throw a stone and hit about 10 influencers which all have 1 million followers because it is so massive. But like you said, the UK is a lot more niche, but is it? Because in the UK we don't really have the paparazzi like running around after us and stuff like that. I think we kind of got rid of those. Well, we've implemented those rules in, so they don't. The only time people get paparazzi is if they've had a little phone call to be like, I'm walking down Tesco's wearing this. Do you want to come and take a photo? Did you experience any of like the madness of like the paparazzi out there?
A few parties we went to, there were like people like Megan Fox and people like that. So like,
there was paps
it was crazy, But then I don't think they're like walking the streets looking for celebrities. I think it's very similar in a way.
But do you remember when we went like years ago and there was a pap in a car and he drove around the corner and was papping out of the car and we was walking down like LA Strip? Do you remember that? That was the only like experience I've seen where like they wouldn't do that in the UK where
Yeah.
they'd be like driving
Hanging out of a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think a lot of celebrities out there do tip the paps off
Yeah.
and say like,
Oh, so
oh,
it
I'm
is-
going to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm addicted to the Kardashians, and they always have paps following them. But
Yes.
they must know. Somebody must tip somebody off, because you can quite easily just sneak out somewhere and there's like 10 gazillion bloody paparazzi.
Yeah,
I know, it is
I think they
crazy.
literally sit outside their house
Yeah.
though, don't
Yeah.
they? I mean, they're not sitting outside my hotel.
Did they put you up in a house out there, or were you staying
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
hotels and
yeah.
stuff?
Yeah, we
And-
had an amazing house on, Sunset Strip,
Yeah.
where all the
yeah.
hotels are.
Yeah.
Our house was there. We lived there for about a month.
Yeah,
6
we
weeks.
lived there, and then we all got a house in Bel Air, which is like this really nice,
Yeah.
like part of LA. Like me, Frankie, my brother, my sister, and his fiance, and we lived together, like without the cameras. And we
Yeah.
lived there for a
Yeah.
while, and then me and you flew back to Essex, didn't
Yeah.
we? But it was like it was a good experience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's quite hard working with your family. Like let's face it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the middle child of an older and a younger sister. There's
Mhm.
bound to be arguments. What was it like working with your family? Did you get on each other's nerves? Was there arguments? I know I don't mean to be talking about arguments all the time, but it's like, I get it. You know, like sisters are sisters. You can have an argument, like say horrible things, and then you forget about it 2 minutes later. Did you have
Well,
that sort of
it's
like?
weird because we've never really had that. Like, we don't really argue
No.
with we don't really argue
Yeah,
like
we're
with
not
our
like that
brother and
at all,
sister.
yeah.
Like,
You don't argue?
I'd never
Oh
had an
God, we
argument
have,
with them
like,
ever.
tiffs.
No,
all the
No.
time.
me
No,
and
nothing
Demi,
like
We
that.
do.
we'll have a bicker because there's only a year difference in our
Yeah.
ages. So like we bicker over anything and everything, like lip gloss, anything.
Yeah,
I get you.
literally.
Yeah, but we never, as a family, like we never argue, never falling out with each other, nothing like that.
Yeah, to the point
So-
of like there's no repair. Like,
Yeah.
and when I say like I can have arguments with my sister, and then 30 minutes later be like, cool, what do you want for dinner then?
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
what
like,
we're like
it's
too.
almost like
Yeah.
it's like your blood, it's
Yeah.
you're not gonna do
But
anything.
where they're a bit older, like we don't.
Yeah, we
like I
would
wouldn't.
never.
I'm not like that with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I that's fair enough. Now, is there going to be another series?
So we've got series 2 coming out on Netflix next month.
Yeah.
So-
What can we expect from this?
Well, that's the one that all the drama was in.
Yeah, a
pretty
lot of
much.
drama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
um,
there's a huge fallout in the family.
It was a very tough series to film, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I think that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was just so real, and it was
Mhm.
like so many emotions, and it like high in anxiety. I
Yeah.
think. So yeah, that's obviously coming out. Very
Once again,
soon.
when you can have arguments off screen, and then or like fallouts off screen, and when it's on screen, it's like it's not just you; it's the whole world watching it as
Yeah,
well.
I
So you know
know.
what comes with it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're like reliving it as well.
Yeah.
So, which is difficult, obviously, because like everybody has arguments, but where ours was filmed, and then now it's going to be on Netflix a year later.
And then oh god, and they're gonna relive it, and then there's gonna
Yeah.
be loads of stuff in the
All the-
press as
yeah.
well, and people are gonna make up stories, and you're like, guys, it's cool, like it's sorted, like chill out, yeah, we're
Yeah.
fine, we're still a family.
So yeah, it's just we've got that coming up soon. So
And
that's
do you always
exciting,
film
but-
it? Do you always film it over in LA?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
both series have been in LA, but we all live back in England now. So
Yeah.
when we filmed last series, me and Demi flew out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but it would be nice if like any more filming maybe to do in the UK.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
that's where our homes are now. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
more. It would be more realistic and more true to ourselves if we filmed another series in the UK now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like that? Like when you go over to LA, it's amazing. It's like the glitz and the glam and all of that. But you just go like, hang a second, this is a bubble right now. Like take
Yeah,
me home,
and
take me to the countryside.
I just
and,
missed
you know.
my mum and dad so
Yeah.
much. Like we're so close with like our mum and dad, and like being in our country, it's like 11 hours away. Like when you are arguing and that, you just want to like
Want your mum.
hug.
Yeah,
Or,
I
like if you
agree.
don't feel well,
Yeah.
or like any minor inconvenience,
Mm.
and also where obviously the time difference in America and UK, you can't just ring your
8
parents.
hours is a whole nother world
I
away.
know.
It's like, oh god, for God's sake, you've got to wait till 4.
Yeah.
No, the UK has to wait till 4, 5 o'clock to get your morning.
Yeah, you
or
literally
like
have
late
like
at night.
a
it's-
window
yeah,
to
yeah.
cram in
Yeah.
like a FaceTime, and like they work and we work, so it's just
Yeah.
difficult. So yeah, I'm happy to be back with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's lovely. You know, I relate to that completely. I'm such a family girl as well, and I'm just the opportunity when I went to I went to Palm Springs at the start of the year. And
oh my God, did you? I'm going there on Friday.
Yeah,
I've never
it's
been there
nice.
before.
It's really, I
it?
went Joshua Tree, but
Oh,
don't
nice.
know what yeah, but I think it's bloody hot. So I mean,
Yeah, it's so
good
hot.
luck.
It's
Pack your
it's
sun-cream.
40 degrees there on
Yeah.
Friday.
It's in the desert, isn't
And
it?
it
I
is
know.
really, really hot. Because
Yeah.
even when I went in January, it was like 20 degrees, but the sun when that came out was really, really hot. But it's just nice. I just like it. And everyone's so friendly. So I mean, I remember getting off American Airlines and everyone's just like over the top nice. I was like,
Yeah.
We said that about like, you know, like if you was to go out in London and meet someone in a bar and they would say, oh, let's hang out, like what you doing Tuesday, and I feel like British people
we'd be like, oh, what you want?
I feel like, or even if we're like, yeah, cool, like, and we won't stick to it. Whereas in America, as soon as we met someone like in a bar and they'd say, do you want to do something this weekend, they will follow up on that and you will see them that weekend.
And they have the confidence to do that.
Yeah.
I always said I need to marry an American. I need the man that's got the balls that want to come up and, you know, take my hand and let's go for it. But
But we love that though, because it's so much easier making friends, especially when you're like in a country where you literally know no one. It was perfect.
The UK is so bloody miserable. Miserable weather, miserable people, miserable men and partners. Honestly, hate it, but we still love it at the same time. Temi, you did Celebs Go Dating.
Yeah, I did.
How was that? Have you been watching over the new series that's come
I
out?
haven't. I've been seeing a lot of Ella Morgan. Is her name Ella Morgan?
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, I've been seeing a
Ella,
lot of,
that was on Married at First Sight.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Ella Morgan come up on my like TikTok with this guy with like the curly hair, and I'm just like, he's got her name tattooed on there, and I'm just thinking, you go, girl. Like he's hot as well, and I'm like, good for you.
She's great.
She is lovely.
I loved her when she was on Married at First Sight,
Yeah.
and I just love her realness. She has that vulnerability to her as well, and you just want to give her a hug just to be like, you've got like give her that hug of confidence to be like, no, you are good, you are fine. Because she was married, well, she was getting with JJ, which is now with Katie Price.
Yes.
How that happened, Lord only knows. But apparently the hearsay was it was Katie Price branching out to him.
Slid in his DMs.
Oh, is that how?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like this is like in this industry, people do just kind of like date each other's exes and things like that. But like, it's I feel like there's no hard feelings because we're all like at the same events and everyone meets each other through a mutual friend and everyone's dated everyone.
Are you single now?
I am single.
You are?
Yeah, I'm always single.
Nice.
I go through stages of like where I'll be dating someone and then I'm just like always single though at the same time.
Frankie, what about you? Single?
No, I'm not single.
Oh, who are you dating?
So I've got a boyfriend, still very new, been together for like 4 or 5 months. So I was set up by, do you know Shauna Phillips? She was on Love Island.
Yes.
Blonde hair.
Yeah.
She just said like, I've got a friend that likes you. Like,
we need more people like this in the
I
world.
know.
Yeah, we do,
and
don't
I was
we?
like, well, that sounds too good to be true. I don't believe you. And then I went on a date and that was it. We've like been in love since. So
you know, my therapist said that to me. He was just like, why don't you just get somebody to set you up? I was like, who? And like, they're all together. Oh yeah, it's a tricky world to maneuver when it comes to. So it's so nice that you get a little handout from a friend.
I know, and honestly, like,
where are my friends?
I feel like it was the right time in my life as well because like I've been single for about a year nearly, and like I'm 30 in a couple of months. So I was kind of thinking to myself, like, as much as I'm
age.
Yeah, as much as I love single and being single and partying, I am ready to settle down. And I feel like I've met the right guy at the right time.
Yeah,
so.
I feel that he's the one.
Oh,
and I've never said that to you.
Yeah.
Until this boy, and I was just like, he is the one. I can tell.
I've even got his initial on my.
Oh my
God,
that's serious.
Yeah,
no, that's good. I think sometimes you do know in your life where it just, you know, I have to believe something along the lines of this, that you weren't ready, or like I weren't ready, and you had to work for a load of fucking poxy stuff. You've got to work for a lot of things in your life until you get to a point and you go, actually, I'm good now. And but I think you need to be happy single, and then when somebody does come into your life, like you don't put all your eggs in one basket with one person, and there's no pressure. It's just you enjoy the moments.
Yeah, it's really good, like when you're dating someone, not to be reliant on them and just know, like, I've got myself. Like, so I feel like now that's why this relationship is working for me. But when I was younger, I was so like
codependent,
codependent and insecure.
I think that's just I think that's just girls being younger, and I think when you, like you said, you're going to turn 30 soon. When you're in your 30s, it's more fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
is.
so excited to turn 30.
Everyone
I'm like,
says that.
It's much better.
She's given me so much faith that like you found your person at 30.
Yeah, I think it is a much better, like in your 30s. It is definitely more fun. I think in your 20s, you're still maneuvering through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like there's so much that happens and changes, and you haven't really got somewhere in your life. I mean, obviously you guys did Towie, so you got thrown into like growing up very quickly.
Yeah.
But still, you know, you had to deal with a lot of backlash off the back of that as well. So, I mean, you had to, you know, like grow up, like I said.
Yeah.
So you girls got OnlyFans. Talk to us about that. Like, we've had a few people on the show which like talk quite openly about OnlyFans. You know, we respect it. Kerry Katona bloody loves it. She was great when she was on the show. How did that all start? And, you know...
Well, it was basically the agreement, wasn't
it's like in contract that we'll to do the OnlyFans show, we've done OnlyFans too. But like they never was like, oh, you need to like post like
we were free to post
pictures or anything. You can just treat it like Instagram if you want.
Oh, it's like a subscription service.
It was more for us to like interact with the viewers and like the fans of the show, obviously, because it's on the same platform.
And they can pay for like a nice little subscription service. So I mean, any ways to bring the money in, let's face it.
And also where the show's like worldwide on the platform, a lot of our fans on OnlyFans are from Mexico and USA, so it's like it's been really, really good. We're doing really well on there.
Yeah, and it's nice to like actually chat to them, and like they just want to like know like things about us that some of them have never seen Towie. Do you know what I mean? So it was just a nice way to interact with like the watchers.
I think sometimes when people say OnlyFans, it like it has that stereotypical like oh, you know, ex lap dancers or strippers or whatever, or flashing your nun on there, but it doesn't have to be like that.
No. And like because when we first downloaded the app when we moved to America, and in America, especially LA, everyone's got OnlyFans, and if you haven't, people are like, what, you don't have OnlyFans, what do you do for money then?
It's like the complete opposite to the UK. It's like over here it's like not rare, but like a lot less people.
It's a taboo over here.
But like over
still
there,
massive taboo.
It's great. If you don't have it, like it's like not having Instagram.
It literally is. Even the boys have got it out there. Like it's crazy. But then when we moved back to the UK, and like when you're out and about and people are like, oh, what do you do for work? And we just say like, oh, OnlyFans and this and that. You sort of get a different response.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I think there was something in the news that there was a Emmerdale or Coronation Street actress, and
then she got sacked.
She got sacked because she had an OnlyFans.
But apparently she was making so much money. I think she was just like picked that anyway. Apparently she was making bundles. So
oh my god. It is like a nice job to have if you're a homey person, because you can set your own diary, you can take your own pictures.
Yeah, because some girls literally just do like 2 hours worth of content a day, and then like if they do that every single day, you're gonna make loads of money. Like it doesn't have to be like a 9 till 5. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so is it just posting the photos, or do you have requests? Like
sometimes there's requests. And
oh really?
Yeah. I don't really do any.
No. I don't want to know. You can see what you got.
You don't want
to know. I'm sure. Like, what is the other one? Wiki feet? No, what's the feet one?
Yeah, there's a foot one out there.
Feet, full stop.
I don't get the
period.
foot fetish.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
And let's face it, my feet are
you know, everyone's each to their own.
But no. I used to know a girl that had her own foot website, and then people would like subscribe to it, and then she'd do like pictures of like beans in the bath on her toes and stuff like that. Yeah,
like to integrate food and
I was like, oh my god, people pay for that. Like it's mad. Yeah,
like the thought of somebody standing on grapes to make wine, even though you're gonna have a lovely, delicious wine.
Yeah, I know.
Makes me gag.
Yeah.
No,
it definitely having OnlyFans definitely opens your eyes to people's fetishes.
Yeah.
And like just like it's just crazy.
Like, what have you got? What's the worst fetish that somebody's asked?
To be honest, there's this one guy, and this isn't crazy, but he just doesn't stop commenting under my stuff on like TikTok, Instagram, OnlyFans, and he keeps going, Frankie, will you send my knickers in your Frankie, will you send your knickers in the post? Just constantly, can you send your knickers in the post? Can you send? And I think, why do you want my knickers? How much would he
offer if you did?
I don't know. I'm too scared to reply.
It's freaking me out.
How much you gonna pay? It's great. I had somebody that asked for my tights. And I was just like, there's holes in them. It's fine. £200 for it. And I was like,
did you do it?
No, I couldn't.
Yeah, there's just something about walking into the post office with your dirty knickers in a
in
a parcel and handing it over.
But then they could have your DNA and then they could put it in a crime scene. Sorry, I'm obviously watching the Netflix monsters at the moment, which is so good. But yeah, oh my God, yeah, didn't think about that. Could be something sinister. That is, gross. What about you? Have you had anything weird?
I can't think of anything that I've had that's weird.
I feel like we've had it so long now. It's like it's all a blur. I
can't even think. Yeah, I think someone asked me to send them a picture of like me putting my middle finger up, which was really random.
Easy.
But yeah, I can't think of anything like mental. Like no.
But it is weird. Like Olivia Atwood, she did that series To Get Him Filthy Rich.
Yeah, I watched
a lot of it. It's so she's great, and that series was so great. I was like addicted to it. But I've always had like some of these weirdos which are like, oh, I'll send you $5,000, and I'm like, yeah, but like I'm so tempted. No, I'm not. But would it really happen? Would they really send you $5,000 just for nothing?
I don't know, because sometimes I think, why would men just want to send you money for nothing? Like, what are they going to get out of that? But then other times,
always an ulterior motive.
Yeah, they might get a thrill out of it. You know, everyone's got a different fetish that might be theirs.
Yeah, some men like it. They like to be like being a submissive and you dictating and being like, I'm far too nice for that. Call me a bitch.
Yeah, I could never be a dominatrix.
No, I don't think I could do that either. So what's next for you guys? Obviously, you've got a new series coming out very, very soon, which we're excited to see on Netflix. Is there anything else in the pipeline?
Well, we've got our little return debut on Towie coming up.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Would you go back onto Towie?
I mean, we always say never, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any like hard feelings towards Towie. We actually love them so much. We've got so many friends on the show, and we live in Essex. So like, I wouldn't like never say never. Yeah.
Bobby Norris said that. He was like, you know, if they open the door and it's me walking through, like, me,
I might accidentally slip and fall.
Oh, there we go. Oh, God. I mean, that is pressure to do that. Yeah. If you did do that on your first scene, going back to that, and you fell over, would you be like, nah, fuck this, doing it again? I don't care. You're not putting that in.
100%.
It would be quite a good first scene though, wouldn't it?
It would probably go viral.
Yeah. Oh, no, it would. But could you go for? I went on Take Me Out years and years and years ago.
Did
like,
you?
Yeah, and the worst thing is like when you've got to go downstairs, right? And you're holding some other girl's hand, and I was like, you're gonna fall. And I think at the time it was like, you know, we used to always wear those great big platforms, and there really weren't that much stability, and I was always so petrified I was gonna walk down the steps. And there was one girl that did fall down the steps, and that was like in the intro of it. Yeah, there was no replays or anything like that. It was like you just stacked it. All right, there you go.
Was you on the same one as Peggy from Maths?
No.
Oh.
No. I was on the third series. Very, very, very long time.
Did you go on a date with anyone? Did you go to Fernando's?
Yeah, it was in Cyprus.
No.
Which is so annoying because I did a season out in Cyprus, and I literally came back for like 2 weeks, did the show, and then it was like, oh, we're flying you back over there. And I'm like,
no way.
Mate, it's so long. It's
Did you like him, the guy you went out with?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I forgot
what his name was and everything. And they loved it. TV love it. They love be like, oh, she doesn't know the name. Okay, cool. We're gonna make this really bad and give you the shittest date, which was snorkeling, and you just done your makeup and you've got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, come on, give us a break, will you? So yeah, they knew.
Yeah.
They knew I hated it.
That was a bit of a savage show, wasn't it? Because sometimes people come down and every single light will go off, and you just feel, oh, what a mare. Because if that happened to me, I'd go home and I'd actually cry.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. That is, it's not very good for your confidence.
No. But then again, they're putting themselves in that position.
It's true. Bit more like Blind Date, where everybody has an opportunity to have that. But Okay, cool. So that's interesting. Would you do anything like SAS?
Yeah,
that's a new series
would
that's
love
coming
to.
out.
Would love to do that. We watch that sometimes,
Yeah,
don't we?
love that
yeah.
show.
Yeah,
It looks so hard.
Does.
Yeah.
Because Georgia Harrison, she was on her show. She's on that. So is Bobby Norris on that. There's some. Is Pete Wicks in that? I think he's in that one as well.
Did his finger get bit by a shark, or was that a different one?
Bit by a shark.
Yeah. Oh no, that was
this
the
because he did it the first time. This is the second time round.
Yeah, the first time he like he fell into the water
and knocked himself out.
That was it, wasn't it?
And then he got sent home.
He's just so funny without being funny.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's just like a grumpy old man before his time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that's good. Well, fingers crossed. Is there anything else that you would do or you wouldn't do? Would you do a bit of Strictly? Would you do a bit of
Yeah, I feel like we would be open to do anything,
everything,
to be honest.
really.
Yeah, I feel like when you're in this industry, if you're like offered these opportunities, it's always good to take them. And like, it's such a good experience. You're only young once.
Oh, God,
yeah.
I tell you what, there was one show which was on Channel 4 and it was A Week in Darkness.
I wouldn't do that.
What's that?
It was like, I can't remember what it was called, but basically the celebrities went in and they had to like live without any light. It was like this big warehouse and they had to, I could not do that.
I would go stir crazy.
And also the ghosts ones. I'm a bit scared of the ghosts ones as well.
Yeah, me too.
I will watch anything to do with ghosts, poltergeist, CSI, blood murder, you name it. Like I'll have a good docu-series before I go to bed, but like to be actually thrown in that situation.
No.
Someone blows on your neck. I'm out of this.
But yeah, I'd like to go back on Seb's Go Dating, to be fair.
Yeah.
I feel like it was such a good like program, and I've done it like so many years ago. I'd like to go back on that.
Yeah.
And
do they really match you with the people? Like, do they vet the people and then they put them on the date with you? Like, or is it just they vet them and they go, oh, I really think that this person will be good because of this. Or,
yeah, and like they'll show you like a picture on the screen and be like, this is who you're going on a date with, and sometimes you'd be like, oh no, but like it was good. And then but I feel like because I had done my first series of Towie and then went straight on that. I didn't really like know much about like the TV and stuff. I felt like if it was now, I feel like I would have gone along with it a bit more freely. Yeah. But I was taking it so serious last time.
Demi thought she was going to actually find love.
Yeah, I genuinely thought I was going to fall in love. I was taking it so serious. Well, to be fair, I actually did like fall for Megan a little bit. And, like not in love, but I fell for her. So that did come. That was serious. But I feel like this time I'd just have fun with it.
Yeah, I would. I think it's nice for somebody to give you options because you can have a look on a dating site, can't you? And you'll be like, oh. But actually, when you meet them in person, they don't look as bad as the photos.
That's what I always say to Demi. I always say to her, you just got to meet people first, even if they're not your type, because it's like the way that like just if you get on and like the way that they are, their mannerisms are usually the things that attract you to someone more than their looks.
But I just always have a mare. Like I literally just flew to Ibiza for a date, didn't I? Like last weekend.
And they've broken up already.
And then I broke up like the day after I got back.
Did you break up?
Yeah.
What was the reasons?
Oh, it was a bit of a mare, weren't it? Well, can I just say?
What was the reason?
Can I just say? We bumped into her ex at one of the clubs that we went to, and she texted him, and I had the ump about it.
It's a dumpable offence.
I was like, why are you texting your ex when I've just flown over to see you, sort of thing?
Yeah, no.
Do you
that's
agree with me on that?
No, there's still hooks in there.
Yeah, so
you need to get out.
I was just a bit like,
no, fair play
flag.
to you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm currently going through a phase where I give you one date, and like, they're absolutely fine on that first date, keen to go on a second date, but in between the first and the second date, they go all proper psycho, like texting a million times and like being a little bit possessive. I'm like, dude, I'm not in a relationship with you. Like, chill the fuck out. So yeah, there's been so many one date shotters and then it's like out. So I'm a bit brutal at the moment.
Yeah,
that's the best way to be though.
Yeah,
because I feel like with me, like in the past, where I'm so laid back and easygoing, like I've been in relationships and been like, I really don't like this person, but like I'm just like don't know how to get out of it.
No,
you stay in your relationships way longer than you're meant to.
Yeah, and
you're a bit like my younger sister. My younger sister does that. And I'm just like, get out.
No, it's so irritating because I'm just like, you need like, what are you doing?
Yeah, she's like, so when are you going to break up with
Yeah,
them? I'm
no,
like,
yeah.
girl, just give me another day, please. I don't know how to do it.
She's like, but we've got this booked in and then we've got that booked in. And I'm like, there's never going to be a right time.
Yeah, but I feel like I've learned so much from that in the
Yeah.
past that like now I would never put myself in that position.
What's the best way to break up with somebody?
Oh God,
Are you a texter, a caller? Let's go out.
I did mine on FaceTime.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, with my
Yeah,
last
that's all right.
relationship.
I think
That's
it's a
it.
bit weird face to face, unless you've been together for like 5 years. Yeah, because I just think like how awkward. You think you're going on a date and then they meet up with you and tell you they don't want to see you
Oh
anymore.
my
Like,
God.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get all dolled up
I would
and
be
everything.
like, could you have not texted me that? Like,
I've just
yeah.
wasted makeup for this
Yeah.
and now I'm crying it off. Yeah, I think... what's the best way of being broken up? No, I think they're all text messages.
Yeah, I do think
Paragraph
text
long
message
text
is the
message
best way.
As soon as you get that paragraph, you're like, oh, this is
No.
not looking good.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm no, I don't want to be
Yeah.
Look, we need to talk. Oh, that's the worst. We need to talk.
Yeah,
I need to talk to
anxiety
you.
central.
I say that. I go, I need to talk to you.
Yeah, she rang me and was like, I need to talk to you. I've got gossip, but I can't tell you it now. I was like, is it about me? Is it about my
I
relationship?
do that all the time. I text people, I need to talk to you.
Oh, I'm
and then
so
I go
glad.
missing.
I'm so glad that you said that, right? Because there was this one person that texted me, like this is years ago, and he goes, oh, I need to talk to you, but I can't talk to you now. I've got to talk to you later. Like, I'll finish work at 5. Okay, no worries. Right, now I have anxiety.
Yeah.
5 o'clock comes, no message, no nothing. And I'm like, okay. So then you text and you go, oh, you know, jokes, just bit of PTSD, you know, like, is it... Well, you shouldn't think so negatively of negative thing comes that happens to you.
Turn it
And
round
then
back onto you.
And it was like, yeah, so it's not working, is it? And I'm like, like you gaslit me and you just like then basically said it was my fault because I'm negative. Like, no, everybody gets that anxiety.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah,
if you
they do.
don't, then you're a sociopath and you have no empathy whatsoever.
Yeah.
So this is the part of the show where we love to talk about what's in the news at the moment, or a bit of hearsay, or a bit of gossip. So I know we touched on it, but this is probably around the right time where people start discussing and wondering who's going to go into I'm a Celebrity. Like, who do you think we could see on there this year?
I feel like last year they put Nella Rose in, didn't they? And she's like a TikToker influencer. So I feel like they're going to go down the route of influencers.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
like
feel
a
like-
big personality. Yeah, because she was
Yeah.
a YouTuber. She, you know, you didn't really see her much on anything else.
Maybe someone like GK Barry.
Yeah, I reckon she's definitely going in. I think Tommy Fury might as well.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know now because
What?
of the old Molly May. Is he going to do that?
I know. I feel like he will.
Do you think?
Yeah, I feel like he could potentially be going in there.
It doesn't look like they're going to get back together anytime soon. So he might as well just sort of
Yeah.
keep working.
We're going to discuss that as
selfish.
well. Molly May and Tommy Fury. We can go back to I'm a Celebrity in just a second, right? She's released her brand new clothing brand, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
I know.
Like, the Oasis just announced that they're going to do a concert, and then it was just like, her and Tommy, are they going to get back together? Aren't they going to get back together? There's a lot of talks now that they're, you know, having crisis, but do you not think they're going to get back together?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't
I
think
don't.
so. Put that on like your story is that much of a big statement.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think she will.
And also, the day she put on her story, she was actually at Soho Farmhouse with her friend having a glass of wine. Because I sound like a top stalker. But I was at Soho Farmhouse the day before. So as soon as she put up that she was there, I sent it to my boyfriend. I was like, oh my God, why didn't we stay an extra day? And then by the time he viewed the story, she deleted it and then put up the statement that she's broke up with Tommy. But also, her sister was on her honeymoon at the time. And I was like, if this was like pre-planned and they'd actually broke up a month ago and now they're announcing it, surely she'd wait for the sister to get home from the honeymoon. So I feel like it was like a sudden thing. She
I
wanted
was going to
everyone
say, it sounds
know.
quite impulsive, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
like an impulsive thing. We're not getting back together. You've done something that bad that we're done.
I think, okay, we don't agree with cheating. Cheating's not good, but like, you've got a kid together. Like, if there was one instance where you go, I fucked up, okay, I'm really sorry, I think there's probably more.
Yeah, I feel like all the rumours
It's
are
like the
suggesting-
last straw that broke the camel's
Yeah.
back.
Every time I
like-
go on TikTok, there's like a new girl claiming that she's like
Pregnant.
kissed him, or like pregnant. And I'm like, what is going? You can't trust these girls though, can you? Like,
well, it's a problem, isn't it? Like, I think Tommy had a video when he was in Dubai.
Yeah, with
and it
girl
was like
grabbing his chin or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at home pregnant or whatever like that at the time, like, you wouldn't want to see that.
I mean,
shit.
he does go out a lot. Bearing in mind she stays at home a lot with the baby, I feel like.
I think she doesn't drink, and I think they're on two completely different
I
paths
do.
by the looks of things anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know them personally, so I actually have no idea. But
Top stalkers.
Well, she's, in a way, she's kind of made her own household brand. What was she on? Oh, no, she wasn't Opoly. Pretty Little Thing.
Pretty Little Thing, yeah.
CEO. Or
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know, she did that straight out of Love Island, and she's got her own brand now. She's kind of made her money. She makes a lot of money off the back of social media. Like, she can stay at home with the kids and have that down to earth sort of like lifestyle. Whereas I think Tommy, you know, he is, Tyson
Brother.
is
Brother.
brother.
Yeah.
God, it's a close knit family. Yeah. So Tyson, you know, he's obviously boxing. Tommy obviously wants to be the same sort of level.
Yes.
He's didn't he do that fight with
Jake
Jake
Paul,
Paul?
yeah.
You know, so he's like getting that sort of recognition, but he's very at the bottom still. He hasn't made it. So he's problem is with men and all of that.
Yeah.
They have one goal and one drive, and then they don't see anything else, and they're blinkered. aren't they? Let's face it.
But I feel like with Molly, like, she's got this new body, which is amazing, and she's brought out the clothing brand at the right time. So I feel like she's just like got the blinkers on.
She's gonna be
She's
busy.
doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it wasn't just one thing. I think there was a lot of things as well.
100%. I reckon so. I reckon so.
Yeah, it is. And I think, didn't Tyson Fury have a documentary, and it's like really shows an insight a little bit of like the mad family.
Yeah.
I love Tyson and Paris. Like, I think they're great.
Oh, I love
like-
Paris Fury.
oh,
Oh my god.
She's
a boss.
lover.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she had to be to have as many kids as she
Yeah.
has and controls them all and all of that.
And to have Tyson as your
Yeah.
husband.
yeah. So I mean, it is, you know, like whether or not Molly's that like destined for that sort of life, or she actually wants a bit more of a quiet life, and I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. So maybe they will get back together, maybe they won't get back together, but they're still, she's young, isn't she?
She's
like
so young.
so young.
so
young.
I think she's still only 25, 26 or something.
I
That's the way she
know.
keeps getting younger.
Everyone forgets how young she is,
Yeah.
because she's so successful and she carries herself like she's so
So mature.
and she's so professional. I think everyone forgets how young she is, and like it's like, actually when I was 25, oh my god, what was I doing? Arguing with someone on Towie.
What was I doing? Radio, and then going out every single Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Exactly.
So,
Like, yeah.
I'm completely
She's a
different that.
hustler, ain't
Yeah.
she?
Yeah.
Props to her.
So going back to I'm a Celebrity, Tommy could be going in that. I would
Yeah.
love to know if Philip Schofield goes into that, because actually
is
when
he
Is that
lined
rumored?
yeah, there's
No
rumours.
way.
No
Well,
way.
look, there's been a lot of scandal since Philip, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Hugh Edwards. Okay, we're not going to go down that, but
No, let's not go down the rabbit hole.
we're not going to go down the rabbit hole. But there's been a lot of big things that have come out, especially with like broadcasters, and you know, there's always new allegations with new people coming out. When you think about it in the retrospect of things for Philip Schofield, yeah, okay, he was a bit of an ass on This Morning. Like, he didn't get on with people, but he didn't do anything that bad. Like, so I think we don't need to blacklist him. I think give him, bring him back.
I've not seen him like
No.
anywhere.
not heard
I
about
completely
him,
forgot
not
about his
Yeah, he's probably
existence.
did, was it crisis like control, and like kept his, you know,
Yeah.
as they say, nose clean, head, you know.
Has Alison Hammond already been on it before? Because she would be good on there.
She would be good on there.
Yeah, when you think about it, Josie Gibson did it last year, and she was great. She
Yeah.
really
I
was.
love
Alison
Josie
Hammond-
Gibson.
I think Alison's
think-
jokes. I feel
Yeah.
like she was on there. It'd be
she
so
did
funny.
Celebs Go Dating when you. Oh no, the
The
series
series after.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so funny.
Yeah, she would be good on there. I do think that they're definitely going to sprinkle some TikTokers in there, though.
Yeah, they need to
They
start
always
putting
have
a
an
lot.
American as well. They always get
They
someone
do,
big over.
they
So
do.
who could be big in the
Oh,
US?
yeah, who's viral right
Like
now?
a selling sunset girl.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, like
100%.
Chriselle or something like that.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even Chelsea.
Yeah.
That'd
be
Someone
good.
like
Could
that.
you imagine though? Oh my god, that'd be amazing to see. Selling Sunset. What else is big? Kardashian, could you imagine?
Everyone will be tuning in.
Caitlyn Jenner went in it once, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Or was that Big Brother? No, that was I'm a Celebrity, wasn't it?
She did it, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure she did.
Imagine Kylie just rocks up.
Oh my God, it'd be mad. That'd be
Carly
so
or
good.
Kylie?
Did I say Kylie? There's some girls are going for dinner with her this week. Some of the influencers. Lucinda, yeah. I see it at Whitefoot. She's like, yeah, I'm having dinner with Kylie Jenner this week. I was like, sorry, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I respect her. I think that it's a new series of her in the Kardashians. She's like just not so. I think she's more real and authentic. Like they really have changed a bit.
Yeah, I
she's
love
so
Kylie.
cute.
Yeah. Anybody else? Who else do they know? Oh, politician. Don't really care about that.
Yeah, I don't really know
we
much
don't
about
really know.
politics.
Yeah,
No, I
we don't
don't.
really.
I try to avoid. Avoid that subject.
Yeah, we
like
do
I'm
as
not getting
well.
involved. But yeah, it'd be really interesting. Yeah, I think that'd be good if they do sprinkle a few more, because there was definitely a time where they were like, oh, we don't want to have reality TV stars, we don't want to have social media, and the people that they got were fucking boring.
Yes, so boring.
That is one thing
Boring.
about like reality TV stars.
Yeah.
They do always
Bring
deliver.
entertainment. Yeah, but they have to. But that'd be really interesting to see. Have you been watching any Married at First Sight?
Yeah, I watched episode 1.
Yeah, same
of
here.
the
That's all I've
UK.
done.
Yeah,
Just one
I
episode.
know. I need a day to like sit
Binge
down
through it
and
all.
really binge it. Yeah.
I need to pay for the subscription on Channel 4 so I don't get the adverts either.
Me too.
Only time I pay for the subscription, binge and watch them all through.
I binged The Monsters last night as well.
Yeah, I've got one more episode of that. You
Oh.
can really do.
I'm on episode 6, so you're
Oh,
well
is
ahead
it?
of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 9
I'm
episodes.
confused about that. So we're talking about Lyle and Eric Menendez.
Menendez. Yeah.
It's not like the Jeffrey Dahmer where you just have him as a monster. It's very clear that he's a monster. But obviously, Eric and Lyle, there was a lot of like backstory to them, what they went through in terms of like the family, the abuse and stuff. I'm getting to the point now later on where I go like, is it all made up? Is all of that made up?
Yeah, she was like, oh, I don't know whether it's true or not, because she's only on episode 5.
Yeah.
And then when I was watching it, I was like, if this isn't true, this is crazy that they've made it up. But
Yeah.
I think it's true at the point that I'm at anyway.
Yeah, well, I did too. I really did too. But I think that there's a scene where you go like, is it a performance?
No way.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So there's two brothers.
I'm listening thinking, what are they going on about?
There's two brothers that
brothers.
shot their parents.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And it's like, wow, like you're monsters, you're crazy for doing that.
In
But
the
then-
UK?
No, in America.
America.
And then once you get their backstory as to why
Why
they
they
did
done
it,
it.
because they were like tortured as children.
Oh,
and
okay.
sexually
Yeah,
abused.
Yeah, got ya.
Yeah. So
Because some of those stories, like they both knew, and like they both had their stories in terms of like some of the acts the dad did.
yeah.
I mean, if they had to make up that story, you would have to you would have to learn that story over and over and over
Yeah.
again for it to line up with each
Yeah.
other. So it is, I don't know, it is a funny one. TBC. I
Yeah.
think there's going to be a documentary on that afterwards that will go into the facts a little bit more.
It's definitely the way it's filmed and everything, though, it's gripping.
it is.
It's
it
not
like
boring at any
acting?
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
actors.
okay.
But the way they've filmed it, it's just like you can't take your eyes off it.
Oh, maybe
not
I'll
It's like
watch it.
monologue
boring.
after monologue, and
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
literally just watching for 20 minutes this person talking, and I'm just sitting there on the sofa like I should be doing something, but all I want to do is just sit
Yeah.
and listen to it. Very intense, very good. Last but not least, so Brad Pitt and his missus Indes de Raymond. How the fuck do you say that? Raymond, Ramno, Raymond. Indes. Help us out. Anybody? Help us out. Anybody? Inez.
Who are you talking
Inez?
about?
Brad Pitt's
Brad Pitt's
girlfriend.
Oh, Brad Pitt's girlfriend. I didn't even know he had a girlfriend.
Me
Well,
neither.
yeah, with Inez de Raymond. Fuck. Okay. Last but not least, Brad Pitt highly featured his lovely girlfriend, Inez de Raymond, at
Sorry, Inés de Ramón.
de Ramon. Okay. Inez de Ramon. Oh, now you made me. I'm just going to say his girlfriend. Inez.
Yeah.
Inez, yeah.
I think that's
Inez.
easier.
And was it at Venice? I think it was the Venice film. Yeah, okay. So last but not least, Brad Pitt and his girlfriend Inez. He put on a lovely show, and he showed off his girlfriend. He's very happy in this relationship. Apparently they've known each other for quite a while. What kind of got me though was the big age difference. She's 34 and he's 60. I mean, he's stunning for a 60-year-old. Don't get me wrong.
60.
Don't get me wrong.
I
Yeah,
thought
there was
he
a
was still
scene
with Angelina. I didn't even know he had a new girlfriend.
I can't believe he's 60. He needs to drop the skincare
Yeah.
regime.
all my days. There was a scene with him and George Clooney walking down the carpet together, and I was like, if this is what 60 looks like, I'm dating in the wrong like age pool right here. But yeah, they look stunning. But when I looked into his girlfriend, she's 34, and that's basically like I'm going out with my dad. It was a bit like
Yeah, that is a dad and daughter
I feel
age
like
difference.
they always do that. It's like Cher. Have you seen Cher's fella? She's
Yeah.
like 60 odd and he's 30 or something.
I
Yeah.
think he's actually late 20.
Oh
I feel like whenever
God.
they get to like A-list, they always choose
Age is
younger,
nothing,
don't they?
Yeah, it just looks.
what do you think is the biggest age gap that you would do, like 60 and 30?
Dunno,
That's
I'm
weird.
not
That is
really-
That is, yeah, I
That
get
is
it. But
weird.
then she's 35, so she's like adult enough to make her own decisions.
Yeah, I
feel
suppose
like,
she's not like 21 or
yeah,
anything.
if someone
Yeah.
was 21 with a 40-year-old,
Yeah,
then it's
it's
like,
like
then
Leonardo.
you're
it's
still a
bit-
child.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
what's
know what
his?
you're doing.
If you're under 25, I think he's 25. Like he, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's what, in his 40s? Leo is, I think so. But-
Yeah.
I think almost 50.
Yeah, I think he's a bit older. Mm.
Okay, so Leo's 50,
Yeah.
and he likes to date somebody half. I mean, surely there's a bit of like, I don't know, that's wrong a bit. He doesn't, he's never going to settle down, is
I
he?
just don't think I could kiss someone like 20 years older than me.
No.
Like, I just think like, I just don't think I could do it. It's like the saliva and stuff. I just
The
can't.
wrinkly
The
lips.
wrinkly lip. I just can't. It's
Yeah.
not for me.
Yeah, and let's face it, like the gravity takes over everywhere.
Yeah. But then again, you do get some silver foxes like
Oh my
George
God, dude, yeah.
Clooney,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
they've got personal trainers. I mean, Brad Pitt is just gorgeous. He really is. You wouldn't know that he's 60, but yeah. I mean, yeah. What's the biggest age gap that I would do? 12, 15 years. Couldn't do 30.
12,
Yeah.
50. Oh, I could not do 30. That would make them 58. No, absolutely not. No. there's
When
no
it's
way.
closer to my parents' age, you
Yeah,
kind of makes them
same.
go, you're going to have more in common with them. Unless you're a big A-lister.
Yeah,
You never
that's
Yeah.
what I question though.
Yeah.
I'm like, how have you got something in common with someone that's like 20, 30 years younger
Yeah,
than you?
definitely not music. And it would be like, oh, I remember when we watched these black and white films. You're like, never watched black and white films.
Yeah, because like when I bond with someone, like when I bonded with my boyfriend, it was over like music
Yeah,
interests, like TV shows,
Yes.
like all things like that.
Nostalgia,
Yeah,
NTL, dial-up tone,
Yeah.
like that sort of stuff.
clubbing.
Yeah, clubbing. Yeah, I know. So I think that is. Well, you never know. If he's happy, he's happy. So
Yeah.
can't complain.
Love is love.
Love is love. Love is love.
That's what I say to you.
Okay. Goes. Yeah. She's asleep. Let's keep this going.
Oh my god.
Is that her ass in camera the whole time? You're gonna have to put a little sticker on her ass because that's her asshole the whole time.
She wants OnlyFans or something.
She's got a really big nunny as well.
Oh, she heard
Oh,
you.
she heard you, yeah.
She thought you
I
Liberty.
call it a marshmallow, right? Because it's just so big.
Oh.
And then when she was on heat as well, I was like, fucking hell, mate. Going through prolapse. But with Frenchies, you kind of have to pick them up from underneath. So you're always putting your hand on her nunny all the time. And I'm like, this is kind of gross. It is.
Has she still got a little baby belly, like when it's like bald and soft?
No, she's got a bit of hair there now. But when they did have the baby belly, my God, it was
So
shit.
cute.
Yeah.
Timmy's still got a baby belly. I think he's like premature. Or
No, he's a
something.
baby still.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
he's still got like that soft satin stomach. It's really weird. Yeah.
No, she's got hair, but it's very fine. It's out a bit of bum fluff. It is, isn't it? See, it's a nice bum.
Does she have to wear a nappy when she's on
No,
a...
I just let her free float. To be quite honest, she just pulled it off all the time. But it was gross and it was carnage. And I was like, there was one time I let her sleep in my bed and I was like, oh my God, someone fucking died. That's the It was really bad. It was an eye opener. And then like I went to the vets and they were like, oh, you know, bleeds just as much as a woman. I just go, well, no offense or anything, she's been bleeding for like 2 weeks now. I don't want to be having a period for 2 weeks, do you?
Yeah.
So this is part of the show where we have somebody that has come in with a dilemma. I'm going to read out the dilemma, and we'd like to give you. I'm going to start that all again. That was shit.
I thought you meant somebody actually come
Yeah,
in
so
the
did
room.
I. I was thinking who's coming in.
No. This is part of the show where we've got a dilemma from one of our. Fucking hell. Okay, let's start again. So this is part of the show, dilemma, where somebody from the audience has been watching the show is asked a dilemma and we need your advice. Okay, so I'm going to read it out now. I'm in a bit of a rut and I need some advice on how to navigate my current relationship, as I've got some doubts. For context, I've been with my boyfriend for 6 years and I'm 26, which means we are entering that awkward stage of life where friends, families are getting married, having kids, which is why I'm starting to have doubts. He's a nice guy and treats me well, and of course I love him, but for me it just feels like it's gone a little bit flat. The excitement has faded away, and it's got me question whether or not I want this person in my future. I don't want to make any rash decisions. I've been together for so long, but I don't know what to do as it's weighing me down a little. Any advice would be amazing.
I think she's answered her own questions.
Yeah.
Like if the excitement's gone and it's weighing her down, I think you don't have to stay with someone for the rest of your life because you've been with them for a long time.
Yeah.
Like you can. She is still young. She's 26. If the
Young.
excitement's
So
gone,
young.
then honey, he's not the one, is he? You need that excitement for your whole life. Otherwise, it's pointless.
Yeah.
And 6 years sounds like a long time, but if you're planning to be with someone for the rest of your life, 6 years is nothing. And if you're bored of them after 6 years,
So
then
true.
Yeah.
My mum always said to me, she was just like, you know what, you can't always go for looks, right? Because looks over time does fade. You know,
She says that to
dad's
me,
bods men go into a bit of dad's bods, and you know we might not scrub up as nice.
Yeah.
But you know, and you go for a lot of stresses as people, like buying house, having kids and all of that you need somebody to, you can have a really, really nice person always be there, but you need to have somebody to make you laugh when you're feeling sad,
Exactly.
to do something, to give you that excitement when you're feeling low, and somebody to be there to be like, not to mother you or do anything like that, just to have those small little thoughtful things.
Yeah, my mum always says that, and like mum and dad have been together for like over 30 years, haven't
35
they?
years, I
And
think,
she
yeah.
still gets so excited to see him. Like when he calls her, she's like, oh, dad's ringing me. And like if they've not seen each other for like a couple of days because he works away sometimes, like she's so excited, she'll pick him up, cooking dinner, and she's always
Oh my
like,
God, that's amazing.
make sure
When did
you
they
still have
meet
that
each other?
excitement. When she was 21, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
So like they've been together 35 years, but like even if he's on his way home from work, she's in the mirror like touching up her hair and makeup.
Always
and stuff.
wearing lipstick for him.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, and I watch that and I'm like, that's why I'll never settle, because
Yeah.
I want that excitement every day.
To have that excitement, to have that somebody that will make you, you know, and you can have it. You can have that.
Yeah.
Like, there was a friend of mine that went for a divorce, and she was like, oh, you know, I had the guy that was good looking, that ticked all the boxes, that made me happy, and you know, it was a nice guy, and that that marriage lasted like a handful of years. Like I know people always say get the nice guy, but you don't just want the nice guy. You want somebody that
You want someone that's
makes you laugh and
Yeah.
smile,
fit you,
and and it just has to click.
And I also think like traveling is very important, like in your 20s and 30s, because your love of your life isn't always going to be that living in the same town and area as you. Like they could be living in another country or like 5 hours away.
God,
like
that's where
then
mine is.
do you know what I mean?
country.
Like there's like billions of people in this world. Why is the love of your life going to live in like 10 minutes down the road?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why I think it's so important to travel and like meet your person.
Yeah.
I definitely think the same. Like a lot of people from my town and from my school have like ended up together.
Yeah, same. I've come from a village as well, and they've all done
Yeah,
that.
and I I'm
or
just
stayed
like,
there.
but me and Demi, we've travelled so much. Like we've lived in different countries, different parts of the UK and stuff. So we're like, we would just
I've
never.
still not found my person. So.
But we would never like settle down with someone from our own town.
Yeah.
And I just think like there's so much out there, and it's important to experience that before you.
Yeah,
before
well,
you
I mean, if
choose.
she's been with this person from the age of 20, she's now 26 now. It's like I don't want to sound horrible, but like your early 20s is your fuck it years. Like the years where you literally go like, yeah, I don't have much money. Yeah, I want to do this. Like, you know, now, yeah, okay, you do have the pressures of like, oh, I need to start thinking about getting a bit of job. Put a bit of savings aside. Like, God knows what's going to happen. Like, just go and just like let loose a little bit and just see.
And when people are 26 and they're like, oh, you know, I've got to start thinking about my future, it's like, no, you haven't.
You don't.
Yeah.
No.
You don't need to have children yet. Just know that.
No. I mean, I think when I was 26, between 26 and 28, I was on radio. And then when I came out of radio, I was like broke out. Like I had no money whatsoever. And then I got into like the DJing side of things. So your life can go in swings and roundabouts. It can like, you can have like the real highs of like, wow, I've got this amazing job being on radio. And then you can come out of it 2 years later and be like, oh my God, I'm back to square one again.
Honestly, you never know what's going to happen in 6 months' time. Like when we was on Towie, like we never knew in like 6 months' time that we was going to be living in LA filming for OnlyFans. Like you just never know what's going to happen and who you're going to meet. And like you could literally like go to a coffee shop and meet the love of your life like the next day.
Do you believe
just
that
never
though?
know.
Yeah. So
do.
I'm glad that you said that, because you've had the experience of like not knowing what's going to happen. Like you know, like you said, all of a sudden you've got the show in LA and it's like, oh my God, wow, like you didn't plan that. You didn't know it was going to. So you have the element of like anything can happen. And I believe in that as well. And then it's just like, you know, some of the people that do drop into your life, it was the right time and they're just, so it's really good that, you know, you do believe in that. Like you said, you know, you went from Towie to have an amazing show and filming for LA. Like you don't know what's around the corner. And I think I truly believe that as well. So, you know, you could just meet your love of your life somewhere.
Exactly. Got to put yourself out there though, darling. And
do you know
meet
exactly?
someone.
And then sometimes you might get a random IG DM. Like I've had this a couple of times.
Yeah.
And like the people that I've dated off of IG, where it's just like, oh, you know, they I don't know how they found me. I don't know why they did that. They won't follow me, and all of a sudden they asked me out on a date, and it's gone away.
Yeah.
It didn't last, but let's face it.
Yeah.
But you didn't plan that. You're not searching on Hinge or Raya or whatever for that. It just happens. So
that's the thing about life though, like it is honestly so unpredictable. Like as much as we think like, oh, I'm gonna be single forever, like you're actually
my
not.
thoughts every single day.
You can't even predict that because no one knows the future. And that's like our friend Harry Durbeard, he's just broken up with his boyfriend on Towie. And he's like going through all the emotions at the minute. But I just keep saying to him, but it's so exciting though. Like you're newly single. You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
I know you mentioned you blinkered, you know.
Yeah, it's
like
so
you really
exciting.
are.
It's the love story that I always like bang on about, like meeting the love of your life, like that love story of how you actually meet them and come together. I think that's so exciting.
Yeah,
like you've got that yet to come. It's like what we say to him, isn't it?
And I always say that the people that are not meant for you will leave your life.
Yes,
right? And they will leave your life, whether it's a horrible breakup, where it's amicable breakup, where it's this person where they just fell out of love with them and like they just leave the lives, but they're making way for something better, bigger, and better. I do believe that. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me on this month's show of Getting Lippy. Stay tuned for more things coming, and also follow us on all our social medias for all things up to date. Take care, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.